hello, ladies. How y'all doing? Hello. What is happening? How y'all doing? Thank you so much, Laurice, for stopping by. I appreciate you. Hello, Miss L. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. The last I talked to you, you was getting some sleep. Did you get some rest? What you ladies up to? How's life treating you? Everybody all right? I hope you guys are doing good. And I really appreciate you guys stopping in because I know a lot of you guys are doing your own lives. So for you guys to stop by and see me, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if it might be Wednesday for you guys. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, happy day, night, morning, noon, whatever time zone you beautiful ladies are in. I appreciate the friendship. I'm glad we met. I hope all is well with you guys and your families. Everybody doing the best that they can and enjoying their YouTube life. Life is life, and everybody. I thank you guys so much. I think you guys are a day ahead of us, right? Everywhere else. So how's everybody's families doing? Y'all doing all right? I hope everybody's doing all right. Life is just changing so much. I tell you, it seems like time goes by so fast. And it seems like it's like whoop, 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 whoop. Before you know it's another day, it's another day, it's another day. And then different places, the weather has been very weird. A lot of folks have been having weather that they're not used to having, you know what I mean? Different. A lot of storms and unpredictable weather. Oh, thank you so much for coming in, Egyptian Goddess. I was just over there at TK. I'm still in his live. TK, how you doing, beautiful? Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. What is happening, what's moving, and what's shaking? How you doing? You know, I used to always love that. Hey, my dear, how you doing, Patty? I enjoyed your hanging out there. That food was good at that buffet. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even know what to eat. And then it gives you a chance to take a break from cooking sometime when you get to eat out, especially when you're getting some good food. That food was looking good. I was like, oh, that chicken, so many different varieties too. The food, the food, the food, the food. Yes, yes, and more, yes. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for stopping in. I know these other ladies here doing their thing. So I appreciate everyone. I hope y'all chilling out. And Miss Goddess, I just got through seeing you. And I'm still running my homie over there right now as we speak. I just been, ever since then, I've probably been letting him run now. As long as he's just set up, that I've been letting it run. I always do that. I always go around and even when I go to bed, I'll pick a couple of people that I can let run, you know, if they're running their live through the night, just to support everybody. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people struggle with getting their watch hours in. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you can help people in any kind of way, let's do it. You know, and that's not even all there is either, because when you get this YouTube and you are really running the business, you got to really stay woke. You got to really do some things there. Blessings and much love, sister. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Miss 50. I appreciate it. Blessings to you. I thank you so much for coming in, sis. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm just chilling. I've been having some real serious convo. I mean, real good conversations with quite a few people here, and we really been, you know, rocking and rolling with this thing. Because with me, I think a lot of people don't understand. Because I think, first of all, this is not a channel. Rruk of all is my hangout chill spot. You get where I'm coming from? So when you come here with me, we just chill. And when I talk with everybody, this is not me running the show. I'm here just for us all to hang out and we can talk about anything. I mean, a lot of people have a certain something that they set. It don't bother me. If you're saved, you're not saved. You believe in God, you don't believe in God. You want to talk about a fly, a roach, or ant. I'm talking about everything because I'm living in the real world. You know what I mean? And there's nothing negative about keeping it real and enjoying conversations with folks. And that's what I like to do, is just talk about, you know, everything that's going on, because we all got a lot. You know what I mean? Oh, you know. And it is what it is. Thank you so much, Egyptian goddess. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. Oh, thank you. See, she's like me too, Miss 50. We go around and we say the same thing for everybody. You know what I mean? It don't got nothing to do with how many subscribers you got. If you're orange, if you're green, if you're purple. When you go in somebody's live, you support them, to the fullest. If that means, everybody throw them thumbs up. Everybody check out so and so, and it's for real though, because we all have to find the right kind of niche and the right people that we can rock with here on YT, so we can, get this thing popping. You know what I mean? Because I got one of my YouTube guys here. I just ran into him, one of my brothers, and he was just telling me, he was saying something about he has been going through a lot here on YT, and that he appreciate talking with me about it, and he's got some stuff going on. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you so much, Egyptian goddess. And he was saying that he's dealing with some folks here that something went down. And when I talk like this, the first thing people keep trying to act like, first of all, this is not about drama, because I tell you what, when you got a bunch of stuff going on in your life, you're gonna, first of all, you go to God if you are a believer. And I'm not judging people that don't believe. That's not none of my business. But I'm just saying, a lot of us go to mama, auntie. You know what I mean? Amen. And see, that's the whole thing. And I promise you, and I'm going to say this, and I know a lot of people don't believe me, because people are so quick to kind of answer for me, and they don't seem to understand me. Because if you rock with me over here, you get an idea how I get down. Listen to me. If you are a real person and you want to build this YouTube channel, whatever you call it, if you want to get paid, monetize it, all that, you ride the rhythm. You do what you got to do. But for me, friendships are priceless. Secondly, people don't understand. My bread is buttered daily by God. So this can't make me or break me. If I have a career on here, I have a career. But other than that, look here. I have a family. I have an awesome career. I'm still paying back student loans. You think I'm going to throw all of that away for YT? You get what I'm saying? This ain't that type of thing for me. And I promise you, a lot of people, oh, she's trying to get the watch out. If you know me by now, hello, you don't understand. I had a channel, you guys. This is not a channel. I had a channel. And I promise you, and I'm not bragging, because I don't put nobody ahead of nobody. But what I want you to understand is that I'm not new to this. I do this. I got a different life that I live now in person, because of the fact that I won't call myself a victim. I'm a victor. You get what I'm saying? But some stuff has happened, so I don't hang out with a lot of people. I got my family, got my man, I'm good. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, God lets me know that I got brothers from another mother, sisters from another mister. So by me coming on YouTube, this gives me a chance to reach out to the world. Now, if this was something lucrative and it becomes something financial and you can gain, whoever want to gain, do it. But don't get it twisted, because when I talk like this, I'm telling you who I am. I don't have to come on here and lie and pretend, oh, she knows she want to get monetized. How do you know what I am? How do you know that, though? You don't even know if I got the actual channel back bumping and making some coin over there. You don't have no idea. People assume, just like I just met two people, and it's like they were trying to make some kind of joke, like, at my expense. And I laughed right along with them, and then I asked them, what's up? You know what I mean? Because you ain't got to play the game. One girl I just met here, and she came to me. It doesn't matter who do who, but I'm just saying, I'm not coming to your life. You don't got nothing I can't have. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know why I say it like that? Because what God has for you is for you, and what God has for me is for me. And a lot of people do get on here and say, oh, I don't want to be monetized. I don't care. This is just a hobby, and they know they're chasing that coin. There's no need to lie about it. Who cares? Do what you want to do and find the right crowd and ride the car till the wheels fall off. But for me, I got a different reason for being on here. And if I'm monetized or not, that's not what it's all about, you guys. Remember, Facebook, MySpace, do you know how many people were able to communicate and hang with each other? There was no price on it. Now, if you come here strictly for business, nothing's wrong with it. If you want people to support you, to build up your watch hours, nothing's wrong with it. But don't tell me who I am or what I'm doing, because that's not what it's about. Anyway, there was a guy that said something in the female one day. I was in her live, because I decided to check her out, because she'd been checking me out, and she was, oh, Rruk is here. Hey, Rruk is good, you guys. Y'all can go check her, but you can check her anytime, because she's always running lives. I don't know how. And I said, well, if you got a question for me, I typed it in, Cap. If you got a question you want to ask me, I'm not the butt end of a bunch of silly kickling and cackling over here, because you're the one, you're running something down. And that's okay. But don't tell me who I am and then try to make a joke out of it, because I do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to anybody else. And then a guy, another guy, a guy that I met, he was saying, when I popped up in live, hey, what's up? How you doing, Rruk? Yeah. How do you do this live? Well, what are you doing? Don't you run marathons 7 days a week yourself? Do I question anything that you do, or try to make fun of you and get a whole bunch of people to like it's some kind of joke? You don't have to worry about. This is why people can't prosper the way they're supposed to in life, is because they're too worried about what's going on in somebody else's life. And let me tell you this story right here, real quick. It says, yes, Jesus called me last evening. Yes, and I asked you too the other time. You popped in my live, Miss 50, a little while ago, and before I could respond, you were gone. I was asking you how Living for Jesus was doing, but you had already left. I'm glad to hear that she's getting it back. Yeah, and even if it turned out to be something different, it's God's will. See, that's what I've learned to say now too, guys, so that I can get a better understanding. And I keep saying this to folk, and thank God that she's all right, and that's God's will. This is what I say: God's will be done. You understand what I'm saying? Because I keep telling a lot of my different family members and people that I know is that if you don't understand me spiritually, there's no need to miss me when I'm physically gone. Don't miss me when I'm gone. Because if you don't understand and you don't want to connect with the inner me, you ain't never known me. You get what I'm trying to explain to you? Just like us being on YT, this is a different connection here. Oh no, I wanted to know, sis. No, come with that. Anytime. You can interrupt me anytime. I don't care. I don't care, please. Because I was worried about her, and I didn't know if she was going to be looking at any of her YouTube, videos to see if people commented. So I didn't even leave a comment, because I went over there twice and I kept saying, maybe I can just ask Miss 50, because I was worried about her. You know what I mean? Because, when you're on here, a lot of times, even if, like with me, I'm not on camera. So thank you so much. Interrupt me anytime, sweetie. If you want to take over this live, any of y'all in here, drop your links. If y'all want to start talking and getting it, popping with everybody, do what you want to do, because I'm blessed to have you guys even willing to come spend time with me, because life is life, and we all got different things to do throughout the day. We got to take a dump. We got to eat. We got to cook. We got to clean. We got family. We got to go to the grocery store. People work outside the house. And there's millions of people around the world that you can hit up on social media and be anywhere you want to be. So I think that anybody that has somebody that comes spend time with them, you consider yourself as blessed and important, because that's a way of like being hugged by the world, because God hugs the world. And by him connecting us like this is a blessing, because I couldn't do it without you guys. I couldn't do it without you. Hey Rona, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. Thank you. And thank all of you guys though, but don't ever feel that way, Miss 50. You can cut in, take it over, honey. Because I appreciate you guys. I really do. And as I was saying though, it's just, with me, I'm doing this myself. And like I said before, there was some woman I was doing a live, and we were talking about, people were saying they were going through issues, and we were saying pray on it and God bless and bop, bop, bop. And this woman kept saying, well, I don't believe in all that because I serve the wolf. I believe in a wolf. Okay, well, listen. Get your wolf, sis. Get your wolf. But you're not going to keep interrupting people because they're saying, why do you believe in that? Won't you go with the wolf? Listen. We all can be who we want to be and do what we want to do. That's one thing I don't do, and God don't do it. God gives us all free will. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yes, we are honestly blessed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And and we have to understand this, because see, this is what's happening here. People don't understand that you have to stay in your lane, because what's for you is for you, and what's for me is for me, and so on and so forth. And sometimes people don't realize that you thinking the grass is greener on the other side, but it still has to be mowed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they had this one lady here. What's happening, happy girl? How you doing? Blessings to you, sis. I hope you're doing well. She says, I hope you're doing well. I am, sis. Thank you. Now you are back. Go ahead, girl. Oh, thank you so much for stopping in, and I'm glad you were able to travel, because I travel too, and that's another thing too about me. A lot of people don't understand when I say that I'm global. It's not a game or just something to throw together halfway. I could be, in the islands for 6 months and then back in the States for another 6 months or in between. That's because that's how I was raised, and I got peeps that I can go by and chill with them and come back and do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? But I really, really want people to understand that you have to understand what you're on here to do, who you are and what you're all about. Because I look at it like this: instead of coming on here with a bunch of shady mess and stirring up and acting a fool and trying to hurt people, get in your lane. Be where you want to be. Nobody cares. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Nobody cares. I would never come in somebody's live and be arguing with the host or none of the other friends that they have in the chat. It's not, it doesn't make any sense. Also, I'm not coming here with a pen and a paper to write down everybody that you got so that I can use you just to ride off of you just to get subscribers. I know how to do the work. Now, there's nothing wrong with us all making friends because we're meshing together, we're speaking to each other, but ain't nobody playing no games up in this piece. And I want to say this too. I got somebody that latched on to me in a live and started hanging up under me. I mean, hanging, and it was a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. And they're using God, just keep dropping, praying over the live, praying, oh God, and all this other stuff. And come to find out, it was a wolf in sheep's clothing. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, do what you do. You understand what I mean? Do what you do. Ain't nobody here like right now. If you notice, and no disrespect to anybody, that wrench situation, y'all, I got a lot of stuff that I want to say about that wrench. That's why I stopped it. And I did it for now because I looked at the value that people place on that. I'm not in no club. You understand what I mean? You don't put me in no cult just because you gave a wrench. And anytime I use a wrench is when I'm repairing something, and I mean that. And these wrenches are being misused, and I'm going to tell you why I say that in a few different reasons. First of all, I got people that pop up, and one guy popped up, and I don't even know him. Well, oh, I sure would look nice in a suit jacket, and my wife would like a blue dress. And I kept saying, well, what do you mean, sir? What do you mean? Because first of all, I knew what he was talking about, but you don't even know me. You didn't come in and say hi to me or nobody else, which is fine. But what are you here for? What is a wrench going to do for you? Do you want to control me over here? Because see, I learned some things. I got a few people that keeps hitting me up and keep telling me, Rruk, I've been going over your videos, but it won't let me comment. It won't let me comment, and it keeps saying private. And I'm looking at, you know what? I don't want to bring this to a negative level, but stuff be happening out here in these YouTube streets. We're going to talk about it, though. Y'all know what I mean. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about it. And I don't care about no wrench. I have been in plenty of people's lives, and I don't want nobody to feel funny and in any kind of way, because I know, as a matter of fact, I have people that have wrenches that's my own family that ain't even in the lives, because I don't like the difficulties. And what I don't like either is that when you go to different people's channels, they seem like they think there's some kind of gods or kings sitting up on the throne, like everybody's bowing to you. That's not what these lives and connections are supposed to be about. You understand what I mean? All of this stuff don't even make no sense the way everybody can come on here. And I'm looking at people that's straight up grown folks and trying to use people to ride their coattail. And one girl came in live and said, well, what happened to the wrenches? Damn, I can't network. You ain't getting nothing over here. If you want a drink of water, I'll give you a glass of water. But you don't have to come over here. What do? You shoot your best shot. Ain't nobody don't care about none of that. If I'm honestly friends with the host and I care about the host and people that I meet in her live, we all come together and form a friendship. But to sit up here and just come to your live just to use people, it don't work that way. And I promise you, if you build your house on sand, it won't stand. Hello? I'm going to go real deep here in a minute here. I'm going to read some of y'all stuff here because I don't want to seem like I'm over talking everybody. Block, yeah. We're gonna Miss 50. You got my. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna go into that. I'm glad you said it. Yep. Block and had no idea. I'm gonna tell you what's been happening, and it's somebody that you know that turned up a little bit on me. Somebody that trying to praise the Lord and bless over this live, and yes, sister, and all that. And come to find out, then they gonna try to jump up and tell a little story like they did. They recovering and they coming back from something. When that's exactly what they are. You understand what I mean? I seen the horns under the weave. Don't get me started. Guys, forgive me, y'all. I seen the horns up under the lace front. Let's stop. Ooh, let me stop. Go. That's a deep one there. And I'm going to tell her, oh, yes. She says, I have too many wrenches sometimes. I just want you to enjoy the topic. I would never ask for them. Yes. I gave you the glass of LOL. Yes, ma'am. And you know what I'm talking about. Yes, ma'am. And I understand what you're saying too, happy girl. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but it is though. And you know that oh, Patty, y'all know what I'm talking about. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something. In me, I feel kind of like, because I'm not real good with this technical stuff. And I promise you, I had no idea what was going on. And then I kept saying, well, I'm asking my family. I keep getting these certain people that's hitting me up on the DMs because they don't want to say it in front of people in the live in case it might be one of them. But folks is blocking and doing things and doing different kind of stuff in here. And I kept saying, and then the main thing that got me though with these wrenches is that I don't feel superior. I've been in, I was in somebody's live today and they like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a wrench. And I said, take it away. I don't need it. I'm in here communicating. I don't need the network. I don't care about clicking on somebody's name necessarily. If we hook up, we hook up. But I am not coming to your life. I'm not that damn thirsty. I keep telling folks, if you forming real friendships with people, there's not going to be a price on it. Do you understand what I mean? It's nothing wrong with being able to make some money and do what you love to do and enjoy your friends and hanging out. But some people are shady. You get what I'm saying? And another thing that I've been having, y'all, and I promise you, I'm not trying to brag or be negative or show out. Let's just call a spade a spade. You understand? We got a deck of cards. You understand what I mean? We got hearts in there. We got kings and we got queens. Let's call a spade a spade. I have someone that I've been noticing. What they do is they keep coming to the lives. He says, Rruk. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't help it. You have to. You gotta say something, y'all. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got 5 people like this. She said, honestly, and not over together. That's exactly what I mean. Yes, thank you so much for the compliment, happy girl. And yes, Miss 50, you know what I'm talking about here. And I had I'll say 5 people now, and I've been watching because what happens is it seems like every time I do a live, right? They're probably scheduled to do theirs. I'm not saying it in any negative way, but what I've been noticing is that with these 5 people, and I've written it down, the name of their channels, and I know who they are and what they're doing. And what if 3 of them is women and 2 of them is men? Every time I do a live, they come to my live, and then they turn around and they do their live, but they're mentioning what I said. I'm not saying that we don't have the same ideas, whether we're talking about God, a living room set, a roach, or ant. That's not what I'm talking about. But you're telling my story that happened to me, and I promise you, we all have a lot of stuff that happens similar, but you can't tell my story. You get what I'm trying to tell you? You cannot tell my story because when I'm telling you something that happened that serious in my life, you don't go and try to repeat that just so that you can woo a crowd because this ain't a game. You understand? Hey, go. What's happening, Coke? How you doing? Thank you so much for coming. I'm talking about what you said to me earlier in another live about some people that ain't working out right for you on YouTube and some drama and some foolishness. And I'm listening to these people. And when I talk like this, see, people don't understand. This is not no script. This is nothing rehearsed. This is my reality. When I tell you what's going on, I'm not talking about no reality TV, basketball wife, the dunk shot, and the hip hop. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about who I am. And I listened to this woman and what she tried, just one of the women, because like I said, it's 3 women, you know what I'm saying, and 2 men. And I'm listening to them telling my story to get a woo from somebody, not to help nobody. They went in on this because they wanted credibility for something that's tragic and it's very silly and unnecessary. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Patty. You get where I'm coming from? And like if I said, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna say something real too, real and true. There was a lot of stuff that I wasn't taught. Anybody can say there was a lot of stuff I wasn't taught. And when I was a child, kids was being fresh. Anybody can say the kids were being fresh. But when somebody say something like somebody got on top of me and we said not to stick it in the red hole, I'm gonna be raw. I don't care. How do you know that? And that was just between me and one other person that knew that you're not supposed to let that. See, don't do that. Don't do that. And then you get on your live and talk and say that was you. And when this was something bad that somebody could have been getting raped, you don't even know the whole story because you're so busy trying to, put a lie, out there. You understand what I'm saying? This is the we're gonna keep it real. It's certain things that I know for a fact that I say that's cliches, and a lot of folks don't know that. I'm gonna be raw. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be raw. And I don't want to disrespect nobody, but we ain't got no babies up in here. We grown. If I offended anybody, I am so sorry, and I mean that from the heart, real or not. I really am. but there's no way that you can jump and then you run. It's like you sat down and wrote down what I said, and then you trying to recite it and not to help somebody. See, people can tell a story to help somebody. And I do a lot of that myself too. But that wasn't the kind of way you do something like that. To try to make some money on YT too about somebody, something bad that happened to someone, you know? She says, why not? Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, yep. And see, and that's the thing too. And that is like you said, Miss 50. That does make sense. But I didn't even care. Like you said, I didn't even care. Even if they didn't give me credit for it, are you making fun of me or are you trying to help somebody? You get what I'm trying to explain to you? Especially when people say stuff like, "Oh yeah, cause so and yeah, this happened, and then these people and it's how they what they were saying. Audience and clicks. Yep, and that's exactly what it is, Patty. That's exactly what I'm saying. And like I said before, it wasn't just about like that they had to even give me credit for anything because I don't want any credit for that. But it's just what they were saying. You get what I mean? What they were saying. That was the problem. It was more so like Patty saying, trying to get clicks and views off of something opposed to trying to help somebody out. You know what I mean? Exactly, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, sugar, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. You know what I mean? Yes, Egyptian goddess. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It wasn't about me being upset because I'm talking to the world basically, and I'm not bragging. I don't care if you see one person in the live. I bet you there's about 30 that's listening and maybe not even letting you know that they're there, which is perfectly fine. I got a guy that just hit me up on the DMs and he said to me, he said, I watch your lives all the time, but I don't comment or give a thumbs up, but I like watching your lives. You get what I'm trying to explain to you? So when I talk like this, I'm talking to the world. But see, you can't tell somebody else's story and act like this is about some kind of business shady deal. If you're going to say it to help somebody out, that's a good thing. But when you're saying something about something somebody else said that was something painful and you're trying to make some money off of it, like you're playing somebody for a fool. And I know when you put your business out there, it's out there, but that's not what I'm saying because I thought this was a homegirl. I thought this was a sis. You feel where I'm coming from, y'all? And it's not, oh, you all bugged out on YouTube, people. Of course you do. Everybody's always, and I want to tell people that they need to critique what they're saying when people tell you, don't get yourself all caught up in YouTube because you don't really know these people. Well, you know what? There you do to a certain extent because you're creating an emotional connection. When somebody tell you that they're sick, pray for them. You know how we do. You get what I'm saying? We put our best foot forward and assume a lot of this could be okay, and then we know there's going to be some sharks in the water. But for the most part, we keep it real. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing that I'm saying about that. When I let this out, it's for the world to hear. That's not the point I'm trying to make. It was how the person was telling the story as if they're trying to make fun of something and they didn't take it as nothing serious in that kind of way. Even if they didn't give me credit for it, I didn't care about that because that's something that, I just said and I put it out there, but I didn't like the way they depicted it. I didn't misunderstand anything because that's another thing too with YT. A lot of people don't realize you got two ears and one mouth for a reason. Be quick to hear and slow to speak. And no matter what we go through, good or bad, it's not wasted. You get what I'm saying? So when they were talking about, and it's not just them, and it's not just that type of story. There's a lot of stuff, and it's almost like people, they come like I'm a content creator or something because most of the stuff that I talk about, I'm not going to sit here and make this live about me. Because like I said before, this is not a channel. This is a hangout spot for all of us. Whatever conversation anybody want to have, let's talk about it. It's not just about me, but I will elaborate on my experience with certain things if we're having any type of conversation because I'm human. I live in the world and this stuff is happening to me. Just like I keep trying to tell people, kids come in this and people don't pay attention to that. First of all, kids come in here in the world, a clean slate. Kids come in the world like a book with nothing on the pages. You fill in the blanks for them. The stuff that they learn in life comes from you. And a lot of times kids are proud of their environment. Just like these folks was getting into an argument and they were saying that the kids stole something. And you got two families that's boasting and bragging and it ain't my son, it ain't my kids, I don't know what the heck y'all talking about, my kids don't blah blah blah. And guess what? Your kid was the one because when it came down to it, because you don't know everything. Sometimes the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing, but a lot of times these kids are coming here and they get what they get from the house. And what do I mean by that? Sitting here chilling like I'm talking to y'all right now, and I tell the kids here, go and get my blunt off the dresser and my lighter. Okay, so what does that mean? What am I showing the child? Yeah, we chilling. Go get me a couple of beers out the refrigerator, little Mike. Come on, come on. Let's be real. We got a lot of stuff going on here that people don't understand. That the children and sometimes too, we got to watch that line that we use about "I'm grown." I'm grown because just because you grown don't mean you're doing everything right. And when you are grown and you're telling kids not to do certain things, but you can do it because you've grown, you need to let them know too that you're doing wrong. And yeah, mommy and daddy, auntie, whoever's doing the boo boo. You get what I mean? Because sometimes that don't work out right. You keep telling them that you're grown and they look at you as their biggest heroes. You understand what I'm saying? So anything you do, a lot of times they want to emulate you. You don't have to be a parent that you gave because you gave, a birth to a child. You can be an adoptive parent. You could be a godmother, an aunt, a niece, a cousin, and still be something powerful in that child's life. But I tell you one thing, kids come with a blank slate, an empty book, and you fill in the pages. So you know for a fact that anytime you want your kids to learn please and thank you, that begins at home. Barney didn't have to, and I'm talking about back in the days, Barney don't have to teach the kids necessarily ABC. Peppa Pig don't have to do it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with kids enjoying to watch a good show that's educational. But at the same time, where's your responsibilities as a parent, grandmother, aunt, cousin, godmother? Sometimes you need to sit down with these kids and teach them some stuff. It's not all this computer, and I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying this is a lot of stuff that's necessary. Even with me, a lot of times I don't do YouTube on the weekend. And sometimes when I do set up YouTube, I'll set up a live and I just let it run and I don't even do anything. Even with my family here, we go off the grid. What we call going off the grid, you don't have to have any cell phones, any computer, no TVs. Get the Bible, go and clean that garage out. Get your closet together. Sit down and have family time. No, it wasn't about the movie. It's us talking to each other. See, people don't understand what intimacy means. Intimacy is not just between the sheets. Intimacy means see into me. You understand what I mean? A lot of times folks don't even know what's going on with each other because you're not really spending quality time. Shut it down for a minute and just see what happens. Don't jump in the car. If you can walk a couple of blocks and grab you something from the store, do that. Why are we all so caught up? Look at the kids now. We were what we call out the door kids. You know what I mean? Hey, that's all good. Look at him. Does anybody want some slice of pizza? Yeah, you can give me a couple of slices. Yeah, so with that being said, folks don't understand that there's a whole lot going on besides the environment of TV and program stuff. There's a lot more fun that you can have if you get around the house and give yourself a chance just to see what it's like not to even have a TV. And I'm going to talk about the outhouse. I'm going to talk about before there was lanterns. You understand what I mean? I'm going to talk about how much closer family was than what they are now. I'm talking about with stuff that's happening in the world. Like, for instance, you could have some older folks that come from a country where they're bred. Like when I was coming up, and I'm talking about different races of family because I'm mixed, right? They had, when they bought houses, you don't buy just the house, you buy the whole land. You understand? Legal to carry. You get what I'm saying? You grow your own crop, your cows, all of that all belongs to you. When you have a death in the family, you take care of your own. There was times there was no electricity in the house at all. No electricity in the house at all. They had to do everything by the grace of the light of the day, and then when it's dark, it was a wrap. At some point, they finally got lanterns. Then there was a time too where there was no TV, no radios. They finally got a radio. But do you know what it's like? Even when I had an actual channel here, and I used to show people my vacations, they look at me like, "What the heck is she saying? That's a vacation?" She's outside and there's a goat in their backyard and that's fun. I want to be somewhere where I lay back and got my feet up and I got waiters and waitresses waiting on me. Well, to me, that was a vacation away from the city and all this foolishness, to be on the island and really chill. Back in the old days, washing clothes by hands, cooking food long term, talking, and I know for a fact what's going on with my kids in school and where they at and if they sexually active. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? We were more connected, more healthier. A lot of our elderly people that we brought to the States started getting high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. Never had none of that from that natural born food and good stuff that they cooked at the house. It's a change. It's a change. It's a shift. And just like with the eclipse, I'm not telling anybody not to have enjoyed that and take that as something fun. But a lot of times people don't realize when stuff like that happens, this is God speaking to all of us. And you better wake up. This is God speaking to all of us. You get where I'm coming from? A lot of people don't understand that, and I'm not trying to turn this into no shady nothing, because I've seen a lot of families that bought the glasses and they camped out and got food and stuff, but there's a little bit more to it than that, y'all. There's a little bit more to it than that. We got a lot more to learn from when something like that happened. Because anytime something like that happened, it's meant to happen, and it's going to show you what changes that's going to happen behind that and prior. Because a lot of people I notice that they don't seem to understand or pay attention to anything. They just keep living and act like everything is cool, and they don't got no consequences. They're not worried about what's going wrong. Does it look like something here that I need to prepare for? Just nothing. Just running around, chilling, thinking everything's a joke. And I'm not saying that everybody's supposed to fall apart on every little thing that we do, but you do have to wake up and smell the coffee. What does that mean? You don't know what's happening now, do you? Do you anybody, you know what I keep saying too? Even if you're not a believer, just say it. I'm just gonna say, if you're not a believer, look in the Bible and tell me what you can identify. Look at Cokie, you so crazy. Yes, sir. And you said you had some stuff to talk about with some issues on YT too. So if you feel like talking about it now, you can, Coke. But the point I'm trying to make, are you ready though? What's going on here? Do you got a couple of extra flashlights put up? I'm not talking about hoarding food. We know about the homestead and prepper pantries, all that. That's not just that. Mentally, spiritually, are you ready? Are you ready? Because you got some times, and I'm gonna keep it 100% real. You got some times that may occur right now that you feel, you know what? I live in a house. I know a few of my neighbors. It's good in my neighborhood, but a crisis hit and you gotta flee your house. You don't know who the heck you're gonna be standing next to. You don't know where you gotta go. Some people that you may think that's on a different level and you don't want to be bothered with, you might have to knock on their door and say, can I come in? Because where I'm at is flooded and I got a newborn baby here. My sister pregnant. You don't know where you're going at. You don't know what line you're going to be in. She says, yes, my mother. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rocking in the sun, yes, ma'am. And I'm going to tell you that, Miss 50, when I was coming up, because this stuff that I'm talking about, I was a little wee bitty child and I remember a lot of this stuff. And I promise you, those were some of the good old days. Yes. She said, yeah, newspaper, and no, yes. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And when people passed away, folks had to handle their own business. Grandma used to wash, clothes by the river before she even got a washboard. You see where I'm coming from? What happened? You got to dig out an outhouse. That's the bathroom for real bathroom. Grandfather walked around with a 12-gauge shotgun. Do you understand what I mean? Raising chickens, pigeons. Come on. Natural, free. You get what I mean? Stuff done by hand, cooking outside. There was no stove. They didn't have no stove yet, because I watched as I started growing when they started, implementing a little bit more of modern technology. And it wasn't about, and this is what I want people to understand, that all of that don't necessarily mean that you were poor. You understand what I mean? Very independent. In some cases, people may have had financial burdens, but they survived. Quality. I look at the people that are like a lot older than me, and these folks is 80 and 90 years old, Tonka built. I'm not talking about a Dollar Tree truck. You get what I'm saying? Tonka built, because they come from breaded in. Yes. At some point, Patty, my family finally got and this is my American family, finally got a wood burning stove. But before then, they didn't have no stove. They cooked outside. That's how I learned how to do all of that kind of stuff like that. I know how to do a lot of different stuff that, when something go down, I can make it. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not bragging either. I'm just saying they didn't have a stove. There was no lanterns yet, none of that. That's what I'm saying. When we went down there, because they called us city slickers, it was a big difference. He says, I did not have a problem. Oh, okay. Okay, because you said to me something different in that live. You said that you wanted to talk about it. But anyway, I'm glad that it worked out for you, and that's right. Move right on and do what you got to do. That's how it is. But anyway, yeah, back in the day, a lot of people don't have that humor, and I think there's a lot of different stuff because of how people are in the communities and how they're raised up. People do a lot of stuff differently, and sometimes you may run into people and they may not be your right fit, Coach. Because I know what you had said to me in that live earlier, you were saying that you were going to talk about it and that there was some troubles there. So I'm glad it worked out for you. But yeah, and I'm going back to the times where people didn't have that. You may be the only house on your street. You get what I'm trying to tell you? You didn't hardly have no neighbors. You know what I mean? Everything that you ate was caught. Like back then, they used to have a lot of good porgy fish, and they catch that fish and bring it home, clean it up fresh right then and there. Any kind of meat you had, pork, beef, or any of that, all of that stuff came from grandfather and them hunters. Hunters, hunters. Hey, squirrel, how you doing? Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you. She says, now people ready to box over their burger ain't hot enough. Yes, amen, amen, Miss 50, amen. See, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. A lot of times people don't understand what was before, how much peace that we had too, before we got to where we are now. And folks don't see that a lot of that was independence. People weren't necessarily poor, and then there was lack of money. But see, that's not what fed your soul, though. You understand what I mean? That's not what fed your soul. It was God. You get what I'm saying? Always providing. He says, we'll be prepared to cook outdoors again. Never know what will be facing us. And that's what I keep saying with the changes. You may find yourself, you got it right, Patty. You may find yourself where you end up having to go to a neighbor. You may say, all them people down there is all messed up. I ain't finna be bothered with them. And you might have to. You might have to. That's the point. Yes, yes, ma'am, Patty. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, squirrel? Thank you for coming. He said, I went into his live. Okay, first thing he tells me, I'm not the center of attention. He told me, his live. He told me I am not allowed to joke in his live. Said it was, oh my gosh, Coke, I'm sorry to hear that. See, that's one of them, you know, they say the A in the hole. I'll say it like that. One of them type of people, shady. And he probably feel like what he thought you was trying to take over his life. See, that's what I'm telling you. And I've ran across a lot of people like that. They act like with their lives, they act like they're like, you know, because see, I don't feel like my, I, me. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's your channel, even though I don't have a channel, but you know, it's your spot. I don't feel like in that kind of way that I'm controlling over people. You know what I mean? Or disrespecting somebody. Because I got one of my ladies that come in here and she says she don't like the music. So when she's in the live, and if she wants to sit in the live for about an hour, I got to turn the music off and ask everybody else to be okay with it, because some people do like it. But I try my best to respect everybody. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't talk to nobody like that, Cole. That's not good. I know that's right. I wouldn't be bothered with it either. That's nasty and very negative, very pointed and disrespectful. You know, and see that kind of person like that, you know, and I got a few folks that I done seen to get down like that. Like you come to their live and they tell you what to do as if you can't even really breathe over there. So I know that, honey, let me tell you, these YouTube streets is crazy. And the thing people don't understand, that YouTube can be just as toxic as your personal life when you run across nasty people. But I done met a lot of people like that want to control. Like when you come in there live and they say something, you're supposed to respond a certain way. And if you don't, they say something rude because they're looking at the comments, and then they got their certain mods that come in and attack you. I mean, man, this is foolishness. Foolishness. That's sad, though. I'm glad you got hit to it, and you know that that's not the place for you. You get what I'm saying? And let it flow. Because like I said before, a lot of people don't even realize with me in the lives, there's like probably about maybe a good 10 people that's not here anymore. I'm done with that. I didn't come here to YouTube for this foolishness, silliness, backbiting, backstabbing, acting like a fool, clowning around. I didn't come to YouTube for that. So I basically, you know, it's a wrap. And when I say that, I didn't disrespect anybody. I didn't call nobody's channel out. None of that type of stuff. I just moved on. But only thing that I feel bad about is a lot of them have latched on to good friends of mine that I met on YouTube. And I hope the friends that I have, that they started going to their lives and stuff, that they don't do the same thing to them. You know what I mean? Because it's not a pretty picture. It's a foolishness. And that's one thing I can't stand too, is about with people. When people do something to you and you just stop being bothered with them. Nothing negative. You just let it go. and they want to turn around and make it look like it's you and try to put a scarlet letter on you, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And I got so many people, especially using God. And I keep saying this to people, whether you're a believer or not, it's up to you. But for people that are running around here, you already got bad stuff that's going to happen to you. Even if you are a Christian and really saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, stuff is still going to happen to you. But when you use God's name, especially when you're trying to brainwash people, and use God's name in it, you're going to pay dearer. It's going to be a different price because you use him to manipulate somebody, and he's going to come for you. But you got to find yourself out here on this YouTube street, because people got a misunderstanding of what's going on. First of all, I ain't in competition with nobody. I'm not. I don't. And it's not about trying to act like I'm not human and I'm above everything. But that's really not my thing. I don't get down like that. It's just not how I am, how I'm wired, and how I like to be, or the company I like to keep. So that definitely would never happen with me, because I'm not like that. If I have something with somebody, I usually take them aside. And when I mean aside here, by us being on social media, they can hit me up privately in the DMs, or I can hit them up privately in the DM, and that be that. You know what I'm saying? That way we don't have to, make this nothing crazy out here on YT. But see, my thing is, people are not going to do you the same way you do them. So you just got to figure out where you belong and stop. That's their loss. You know what I mean? That is their loss. But yeah, as I was saying about back in the days, guys, all these things is because it was different for us, because we had certain family, different races, different upbringings. And when we come back, what they would say, like if we go to yard, if we come back to what we call the United States, the States, and be here and then go back there, they call us city kids, city slickers, because we had TV in our house. They didn't have TV. You get what I'm trying to explain to you? So I learned a whole lot of stuff. But as I was coming up as a child, a lot of people laughed and tried to make fun of it. But at the same time, it made me a triple threat as I grew. Do you understand what I mean? Like right now, people are not understanding, and I don't want nobody to get rubbed the wrong way, but this is turning into like a whole third world country all around with all this stuff here. You know what I mean? It's getting out of hand where you can't even get what you need if you're a citizen, because this is happening over here, this happening over there. I know what it's like being pulled in different directions. But this got to stop. This is why all of this stuff is going down the way it is right now. People all just look at the eclipse like it was just some kind of thing. Oh, yeah, the fun. Oh, yeah. Okay, enjoy it. But know the meaning behind it. Expect change. Expect change and know the meaning behind it, and stay woke. Because I tell you, this is God saying something. You know the moon and the sun ain't supposed to be like that next to. Come on, y'all. And then gonna make it black when it's supposed to. Listen here. Enjoy it and call it what you want. But I tell you what, you set out there and mess around and that stuff, and you get down the line 2 or 3 months later wondering why your eyes keep on flickering and something going on. Watch what you done on that day. There's nothing to be laughing and be out with. I mean, some people do it though, but I'm just saying I didn't take it that way. And I hope I'm not seeming too serious or too critical, but I don't look at stuff like that. When stuff like that happens in the world, it's telling us something. You better stay ready. You better stay ready, because you don't know what's finna go down. But if you are prepared, just like with me, I do a little prepping, but I don't do all that hoarding. You know what I mean? Then you go back there and you go and get these beans out, because you figure, well, dang, I had some beans packed up in my first aid and my whatever kit, and then you go back to beans, ain't even got no liquid left in them. You can shake it like rocks because you hoarded that stuff so long. So I've learned how to do a little bit of prepping, but not overdo it. And the reason why I say that is because I've had so many people that have situations where they're prepping, or either they're over shopping or doing something in that way, and then the refrigerator went down, and you ain't got no friends or nobody to do that. You can get a couple of coolers for a minute, depends on where you live at. But you wasted a lot of food, so I try to do a little something, but don't overdo it and just be woke. You know what I mean? And keep that extra. And it's good too to have the prepper pantry, because a lot of times when I be planning on cooking something and I don't have it, I say, oh my gosh, I got it prepped away. So I can go down there, switch out a can or whatever it may be, and then replace it back, so that you will always be prepared, because you don't know what's going to happen at any time. We never have. That's the whole thing. People don't understand. We never have. Because it's not for us to know. It's for God to tell us what it is. You know what I mean? We never have known what was going to happen. A lot of times you can even just simply say, when I get grown, I'm going to get up and get married and may never get married. You may say, when I'm grown, I'm going to get up and have kids and may never have kids. It depends on what God has planned for your life. We don't control the narrative. You know what I mean? And until we understand that, we're going to always be flip flopping and blowing in the wind, because a lot of times we take this stuff for granted and we think we're running something when we're not. You know what I mean? And they always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But at the same time, what is your ready though? Are you even, in place to do anything? Or are we just perpetrating a fraud and flowing along, and just doing anything? Just playing games and don't really care what the outcome is. As long as we got what we want, we don't care about nobody else or nothing else. Because a lot of these times out here, when I'm getting myself ready, I always make sure that, you got to try to have something kind to offer to help out the next person that may not have it like you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you guys are still in the live, so I'm going to try to calm it down a little bit until I see some folks back popping up in here. You know how we do. I know y'all be listening and got stuff here in the background and doing y'all thing, but keep it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna pop back on here. Okay, give me a second. Let go. Who's there? Who's there? I be talking it up here, y'all. Okay, everybody's got quiet, so I'm gonna let it chill for a while. I'm gonna go silent, and then I'll be back, people. I'm just gonna catch up on. Let me just catch up on some comments too. I'd like to, even though I verbally say stuff, I still like to type it in, y'all. But yeah, we just gotta watch what we doing out here, y'all. It's a lot going on here, and I don't want to come on here like I'm running my mouth and bugging out and overdoing stuff. But it's true. It's true. It is true. We gotta know what we know and do what we do. Fool around here and get lost in the sauce and don't know which way's up. That right there have you taken all the way down. All the way down. Life is definitely life, and I am so glad Happy Girl is back. It's been a long time, sis. Thank you so much for stopping in. If you're still there in the background. Rhonda came in. I said hi. I said hi to everybody. Even when I talk, I'll stop talking just to enjoy you guys. But yeah, we just gotta watch what we doing out here, y'all. And like I said, I try not to, I don't, I don't want to be boring over here. But at the same time, I don't want nobody to feel like, dag, she's just going over and over. You know how folks can get. But I think a lot of us that hang out here, we know what's up with it, and we all pretty Gucci. But we definitely do have to protect our peace. We definitely have to protect our peace, because I'm telling you, The devil is roaming through here like crazy, y'all. And we gotta wake up. We gotta know what's going on here. We just can't paint the picture how we want it to look. We gotta fit everybody in it because we all matter. And we all are in this battle together, whether we believe it or not. Because some people think they're so exempt from everything that they forget that they're even damn human. You know what I mean? They forget that they're even human because they're so caught up on thinking that they're exempt because they got a certain lifestyle or they got this and they got that. And none of that has anything to do with anything. You know what I mean? None of it has anything to do with nothing. You gotta remember, you are flesh and blood and bones, all of that. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Just like I see a lot of folks popping around here worried about trying to look, this kind of way and that kind of way to please other people and not necessarily, take heed to what they want to be and for them. They're doing it for someone else, And that's when the masks need to come off. It's time to stop, y'all. Time to stop and wake up and smell the coffee. Just like I got my good brother here, Coke, and he's trying to be nice and supportive and go to folks' channels and hang out and stuff. And people want to act some kind of way because he likes to have fun. That shows you what kind of people we got in the world. I'm glad you learned these people instead of spending more time with them, Coke. I'm glad you understand who you was dealing with and you moved on. Nothing wrong with that. They do have a lot of folks that are mean like that, and then you do have some people that do try to take over people's lives, and they want all the attention on them because they may have been raised a certain way or they feel somebody owed them. You know what I mean? We got to watch out for all of that. Oh, thank you, Patty. I'm glad you're still there. It's just so much stuff going on out here, and I try my best to look at it, and I've been having for quite a while now. I have been having these things here. And see what he was saying to me, he was saying that he told me that, he's in the live, so I'm not trying to be in nobody's business or nothing, but he had mentioned to me in another live that he was having something going on. And then he said, everything was okay. And then he just explained what it was about. Now, I can say that there's two ways to this because sometimes you get people that are very nasty. And when you come to their live, they act like they're the boss of you and do the kitty stuff. Control, negative, shady, and all that kind of stuff. You get a lot of that going. Then you also have people that do come in your life and try to take over your life. And a lot of people, when they're aware of that, they'll shut you down coming in their life like that. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I took the wrench away. That's one of the reasons why I took the wrench away, because I had some people was doing some undermining and some things that wasn't quite appropriate and a bit shady. You know what I mean? Very sketchy. And I started realizing, people was telling me different stuff, and I'm like, well, what the heck is going on? I didn't realize that any of that was happening. And then I started learning, and then we started doing a little bit of investigating, and then we was like, bam, there it goes. Oh yeah, you were at Publix, and I'm sorry too, Patty, because I was watching your I was watching your live, and at first I thought you were at a buffet, and then I realized as you went in further, because when you're working you can't just sit there, you know what I'm talking about. So I glanced off and then back, and I thought you were in the actual buffet, but you were in the grocery store, and Publix is off the chain. They did have it set up looking like a buffet though, child. It sure did, and I apologize for that, Miss Patty. I was visiting Publix, and I didn't get it right, because when I looked, that's all I saw was all that good food. And I know you said there's a certain kind of way that I think you said your grandson says the way he says about the chicken. So I thought you was at a buffet, especially the way they had it set up, because it looked as good as a buffet. And then I had to leave off for a while, so I didn't get a chance to see that you were at actual, the grocery store. Sorry about that, sis. I don't want you to think I wasn't paying attention, but sometimes, you're at that job and, something happened, you got to get away from the computer, or change the screen over. Somebody come in the job that might be running their little mouth and all, how them kind of folks would be. Yeah, there's a lot going on out here, y'all. A lot going on. Let's chat all things life. I tell you one thing, y'all. We got a lot. Oh boy, we got a lot. And I like when we get a good conversation with a whole bunch of people going. But I also, like I said before, I can tell when you got people that are trying to take over your life and do things like that. And then you got some people that can be nasty. But I've been watching how a lot of people get down out here. And there is a lot of shady people that try to come in and want to be the eyes on them when it don't really need to be eyes on just one person. Everybody should be able to have, the attention and conversation amongst each other, It don't have to be just one person. So I understand that, but that was nasty what he experienced, and I'm sorry that happened to him, but that's how it is out here, y'all. Folks is I don't know, I don't even understand how people feel that they're that powerful on YT, that when people come to hang out with them in their live, I can understand when people saying I don't want no swearing and no cussing and no arguing and positivity. I can understand that. But you know what I mean? But to disrespect, oh, thank you, Patty. You're so sweet. That's why I have a hard time when I it's different if I'm at home and I get up and do something in the background. That can happen to any of us to walk away. But at the same time, when I'm at that folks, look at that folks their house. Look, your job seemed like a home, second home. You gotta watch how you flow and what you're doing. And then a lot of times too, some of us are watching other people's videos, and then they may click on and go another 3 or 5 minutes from somewhere else and come back again. But yeah, I got a lot of folks here that I've been watching, and they come through here, and people are going through a lot of different turmoil out here on these YouTube streets, because I've been watching how folks will come in and take over your life. And a lot of times people get upset when you peep that about them, and then they get mad about it, but at the same time, it is the truth. You can tell when somebody is you doing a live and somebody keep trying to disrupt you, and they doing some little old foo-foo mess. I mean, for real, it's the truth. It does happen. It does happen, and that is the truth. And then you got some people that's straight up nasty. But when you know certain people and you know how they get down, you definitely can tell, you know what, no, that's how they do. That's why that happened like that, because that's how they do. Yep, I believe it. You get what I mean? I've seen it, and that's happened to me quite a few times, that you're trying to talk about something and you get people to trying to keep interjecting something to try to mess up the conversation that everybody else is having, and they think it's all about them. So you can tell the difference, because I had a lot of that. And that's one of the things right there. Then with the look, here we go again with them wrenches. With them wrenches. Here we go back again on the wrenchy wrench. That's how it is with them wrenches. Because even somebody just said that they were getting blocked and jacked up with the wrenches. I think it was Miss Fit. Let me see what she said. I'm going to read it again. Because I know that what she's speaking about, that's what's going on there, where you got to take it back and slowly chill and see who you want to deal with. Or don't even bother at all if you don't have to. I mean, it's played out now, yo. All this stuff is played out. But I know that one girl here that came in the live yesterday, which is a wonderful YouTuber that I've been checking out, she was saying about how she's dealing with she had some issues with people using the wrenches to to run her live, and that really woke me up, because I had suspicions before, but I wasn't sure, and something just told me to go on and check and see what other stuff to look into with them wrenches. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then when people started telling me they weren't getting this and this was happening, I realized somebody was doing something. But sometimes I be sitting up here, and I just got through talking um with the YouTuber here, and she was saying the same things about with the YouTube. She said that as a matter of fact, too, who was talking to? I think you know her, Patty. Oh gosh, I don't know how. Michelle. She was just talking about that she had let another channel go, and then she started to let YouTube go. And I'd be having a lot of that too, and not, necessarily wanting to be seen in that type of way. I feel exactly how she felt. You know what I mean? She just came to visit me today too, on one of my videos that I put up. And I understand exactly what you mean, because sometimes what happens here is, obviously we don't supposed to let nobody come in and rule over us and have us all messed up in the head. But when you deal with people on a regular basis and you feel that you're forming some kind of friendship with, it will bother you. And sometimes it can be very naughty out here on the YouTube. You know what I mean? It can be very naughty, and a lot of people don't understand, especially if it didn't happen to them or they don't care. You get what I mean? Because a lot of people are at face value, where if they don't understand it, then it don't matter. You get what I'm saying? I noticed that with a lot of folks, if they don't understand it, or not even don't understand it, don't care to understand because it ain't happening to them, they feel that exempt. So anybody else talking about certain stuff, it ain't a big deal because, hey, it didn't happen to me. But it don't go like that. That's the whole thing that people don't seem to understand. It don't go by, whether it happened to you or not. Well, you should be at the same time, whoever's speaking about it, that is their truth, and that is what's happening. So you got to understand where people are coming from, because you don't have to be, and a lot of people don't understand, you don't have to be about any drama for people to bring drama to you. People do come with foolishness and want to mess you up and take you down and have you caught out there. They do. So you got to be the one to say, you know what, I gotta figure out a way to get this unscrambled, and put this in a positive predicament, so that I can continue my YouTube. so much. Oh my gosh. I had really, really good conversations here. Yes, I know. Yes, ma'am. I'm telling you, I had some really serious conversations here earlier with some folks that I just had to break it in and just go in with good stuff that's like just flowing right out of me. And I promise you, sometimes I get on here and talk and I don't even realize. I'm not saying that I don't have no control, I'm just running my mouth, but when you get caught up with the right people and you all are talking and experience a lot of the same things come up out of you. You know what I mean? And I promise you, I went in with a whole bunch of different stuff here. And a lot of times when you talk about this, a lot of people don't have the same stuff in common with you as, because they believe in it, they're living the same thing. So whenever you get a chance and you start talking like that, they feel it. And that's how you guys connect because y'all feel the same thing. Y'all got the same ideas about stuff. Y'all vibing together and y'all clicking. And that's the fun thing about this is when you get around the folks that that y'all really. It's not saying that other people may, if you have other people that don't necessarily jive with you, that means that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm just saying, whenever you get to talking, like I keep saying with kids and stuff, y'all, we all know. We honestly all know coming into this world as grown folks here, and anytime you have kids around you, it doesn't matter whether you're a biological mother or whatever you are to the kids or a child. You still got to understand that these kids don't know nothing. I know that a lot of us, we all are born into sin, but at the same time, kids are not going to be able to be exposed to something unless you show them or who you have them around. And a lot of times, as and I hate to say it like this, but a lot of times, as people in the world out here, we all feel like when we have kids that we protect over them because they are with us and they're around the family and that type of thing. You know what I mean? And you don't realize sometimes you have a monster within. Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that because of the fact that we have it in the family. So you kind of are not getting away from anything, if that makes sense. But at the same time, you're supposed to be able to be fine and trust your family too. But a lot of times with this stuff, with a lot of harm coming to kids, and not just the essay stuff. You know what I mean? But physical as well, like hitting and verbal is a lot of that is happening to people as well too. You get what I'm saying? And people don't understand that for the most part, if you have a good family, you're lucky to have that you don't have no monsters within within the camp. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can create a monster in a child by your behavior and how you let your family roam about, or even you, the mother and father, that want the best for your kids, but you guys got some drama yourself up in the house, and no disrespect to anybody, but that can consist of anything. That could be, dad's an alcoholic, mom, is doing her thing. You know what I mean? And that can affect the child in a negative way. Because that's one thing, like I said, with people being adults, everybody is always so quick to, keep saying that they're grown. And we know that. With some of your actions that that you're doing, it's not, it's, obviously you're grown, but it doesn't make it right just because you're grown. That's the problem that a lot of folks have and they're not paying attention to. It has nothing to do with just putting a title or age or number on something. It's not just that, but a lot of stuff that we do as folks that's grown ain't right. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people seem to get that twisted all up too and don't pay attention to you got to watch out for that when you say that too, because some of your habits that you think because you're grown and you tell kids that you're grown that they're going to just because you tell them to not do it because only grown folks can do this, because there is going to be some things that if you do in front of them that's grown that they shouldn't see, it's going to go down. You know what I mean? And that's because they thinking it's all right because they seen you do it. You know, and that happens in a lot. I promise you, there's so many different households and folks that I know that are always saying stuff like, well, this happened to me when I was a child. This is what mom and them done when I was a child, and that, then they grow up doing this type of stuff too, and then you try to, oh, well, I told you when we was grown. Some things you may not want to do in front of them. Yes, their actions, because they want to be like you, so they copy a lot of things you do. You know what I mean? And then they end up, becoming a certain kind of way because of it. Or sometimes too, what people don't understand too is that when you don't give your kids, and like I said, it's not just your kids you had. It could be kids that you're around, and adopted kids and nieces and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you kind of control the factor of how they think about certain things too. And a lot of people don't pay attention to that either. Because you know how you have certain type of stuff, like I know with a lot of families, and I was just talking to somebody about this stuff. A lot of families have those myths, and they carry it on like through generation to generation. They'll say stuff like, that bad luck stuff, splitting the pole and putting a hat on the bed. And folks have carried that from generation to generation, and a lot of people didn't necessarily see any of that to be true. But by them saying it and spreading it down, the kids copy it because they think it's okay. Bless you. The kids copy it and they think it's okay because they seen you do it or you said it. Because I know there was a lot of foes and stuff that I believed in, and then I realized, like, for me, I have to learn that that ain't of God, so I shouldn't even believe in it. But there's a lot of times, even when we used to play as kids, people always say that, if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back. And when you young like that, real young, you be believing that stuff. You know what I mean? Or hat on the bed. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have believed in a lot of those myths too, because I was raised up and around people that believed in it. But you kind of like birds of a feather flock together with certain stuff. You know what I mean? And then there's some times when you get off after you start learning something yourself, you got a different thought about it. But because your parents and your family did things that way, you ended up being the same way. By default. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand that either. But it is the truth though. And I really feel bad that, some of that stuff gets forced on us, unfortunately. We get caught up in believing some stuff that that is a belief of mom or some aunt. And as you start growing, you start realizing that you don't really believe that, but you were taught to, so you go with it. And I mean, everything that they do like that ain't necessarily bad stuff, but it's stuff. You know what I mean? You're stuff in your stuff. And once we start doing that, we get caught up in this kind of way where we think that everything you do, that they done, you got to do. That they done, you got to do. And then you start realizing that you don't have much of your own identity, because you got to copy. And then a lot of people too get up too that's raised up in the church and stuff, and seeing a lot of folks that was family that were supposed to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, start seeing them clowning around, and then it makes them kind of fall away from God too. So we got a lot of that type of stuff that we need to be careful about as well. If that lot of people probably done went on too and had something to do here, Miss Patty, and I'm fooling around here myself. But I love when I get a chance to hang out with you guys and talk and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And even when I came to your live, there were so many different, folks and stuff that I knew, and we were all cool. So I enjoyed that. So we all got a chance to laugh and talk, and say hi to each other. And that's a nice thing too. And I know that when I was leaving Miss Michelle's live, I think you had just came in, and I didn't get a chance to say hey to you, Patty, because I had to go. But I enjoyed her live as well too, and it was really good. You know what I mean? Cause she doing her thing too, and see with me too. I do the stuff too. We all do. We talk about God and stuff. I just don't do it necessarily, like that. But that's why I go over there and check her too. But I do engage on it, and there has been times, and there will be more times that I really get into scripture and stuff, like get the book out and start reading some stuff from the book, or get some stuff that I wrote down about the word, because I think that a lot of us, because I can tell even with doing this live that there's a few people that keep trying to detour the conversation, because they don't want people to keep talking down. It's different when somebody come in and somebody saying hi and how you doing and stuff like that. But I can tell, like, certain people that you deal with, if they're not interested in that kind of content. And it ain't no shade to nobody, nothing like that, but you can tell. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talking and they keep throwing the conversation completely off from what you're talking about. And I have a real high level of respect for God. You know what I mean? So anytime somebody is talking about the Lord, I am not going to interrupt with nothing. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to interrupt with nothing, and I'm not telling people that they have to be the same as me, but I have respect in that area, so I try my best not to interject. When somebody's doing something like that, a service and stuff, you may slide in and say hi, but you don't just take over the whole conversation. You're welcome, Patty. You don't take over the whole conversation with some other mess and somebody talking about God. You know what I mean? Or reading from the Bible or reading scriptures. You don't jump in and fool around with that. You know what I mean? You take that for what it's worth and get something from it, and not take it as a joke, because so many people will take that thing and turn it upside down, where you're trying to talk about God and they're in there, on some street stuff. You get what I'm saying? I done had a few lives like that where, a bunch of folks is together and they do worshiping God and talking, you know what I mean? And you'll have somebody that pops in with some foolishness, and no disrespect, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, some people may come in and they didn't read the room. And then a lot of times you have some people that come in and they don't care. You know what I mean? They don't care about the conversation that you're having. Some of them don't believe in God, and some of them want to come in and take over, because I know folks was talking to me about that, and it was like a double-edged sword, where I could tell, when people telling you that somebody else is against them when they're actually the one that is the problem. You know what I mean? So I learned that a long time ago. That's why I say a certain amount of stuff, and then I kick back, because I realized it was really good. And I do have quite a few people on here on YT that I used to be all right with, and they, made their choices, and I don't fool with them no more. And then they want to try to walk around here and try to make it look like you done something to them, even if you just kept it real with them. If you can't take the truth, that's what it is. Or even if you have somebody that's done something to you and you didn't say who they were, but you spoke about your situation to somebody else. You know what I mean? That right there is serious business, because I think that anytime something happens to you, you have a right to speak your mind. And you don't necessarily have to call out nobody and embarrass them or nothing like that, but you have a right, and especially with me, because the stuff that I be talking about, nobody don't know who did it. You know what I'm saying? I know on here, this thing got real nasty out here with a lot of people out here that's bug tripping out here on these YouTube streets. They done turned this thing into some foolishness. And you can try to stay in your lane, but a lot of times people will drive over to you. You know what I mean? With some old fool. And I try my best, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna keep control of it, but it does happen here and there. You get what I'm saying? It does happen here and there where I get a few people to slide over in my lane and try something and all that old foolishness there, and I'll shake it off and keep going. But I know some people come on here to try to blackball you too and paint the narrative to make you look like you done something bad just because you ain't fooling with them and their mess. Or like I said, even if you got something that somebody did to you and you don't say who they are, you do have a right to talk about what happened to you if you want to. It's you. You know what I mean? That it happened to, and can't nobody take that from you if you want to talk about it. And I got a few people because I told you I done ran into a bumpy crowd here, and there's a lot of folks that I'm not with that. I'm not with that, and they know I'm not with it. So what they try to do is they try to switch it around. And you ever been in situations? It could be a coworker, sibling, husband, or wife, child, where you trying to get something straightened out, and they trying to turn it around and make it seem like it's you. You know what I mean? I done ran to a few clowns on here that's juking and jiving. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but that's what they be doing. And I try to watch myself with that because that's how you end up getting lost in the sauce. And I try my best to say, you know what? I ain't with this, but see what happens with me that I notice is that when I step away, and I don't do nothing bad. I just stop being bothered. Then the people trying to act like, they're trying to switch the script on you when in fact it was them that did something shady. It's a mess. It can be very messy, Well, I try my best just to, hold my head up and keep doing what I'm doing because it doesn't make no sense to do it any other way. And I think that people, after a while, when folks come and hang out with me, I don't see how that there could be any confusion of who I am and how I get down because I'm not really running no game over here, nothing like that. I don't have anything scripted. I don't talk about anybody precisely to call them out, to hurt their feelings, to embarrass people, to be up in nobody's business. I just talk about what it is. There ain't not a one person on here that I ran across that said they haven't dealt with no boo-boo on YT. And when you say that, like if I say, just say for instance, if I say, well, this happened to me as a child, and say what it is, it does not mean that whoever that person is, that even if they heard you saying it, if you didn't say their name, everybody else don't know that happened, but you and them, But see, that's what I keep saying. A guilty heart has no accusers, because it's true. People get mad when you are speaking on something that they done to you, which is your right and your truth and your life, and you the one that happened to. And they should be glad that you're not calling them out so the rest of the world can see who they really are and what they've done, because a lot of that could go down that way. But see, I don't do that kind of mess like that in my personal life or on YT. I'm just not with that. You know what I mean? I don't get down like that. I stay in my lane, I keep it copacetic, and I do it moving, But you can't expect people to treat you the same way you treat them. It's a lot of foolery. And that's in the personal life too, in families. You get what I'm saying? In families, throughout the world, in marriages. Even with you parenting and having children and stuff, a lot of that goes down with the children. And I watch too with these channels, folks will have certain people that they got as their mods and stuff like that, and pick who they want and trust, and don't even know them people that well either, and just trying to pick somebody because they come to your videos all the time. And that mod stuff really needs to be based on some more important stuff than what people pick these people to be mods for. You got to do better than that. If you're going to get out here and do it, you got to do better than that. And sometimes too, because a lot of people feel uneven or feeling left out, sometimes it's best not to even do it. In my case, a lot of that stuff I try not to do because I don't want nobody to feel uncomfortable. And that was one of the reasons why I gave everybody, a wrench type of thing. And I didn't understand fully what the wrench do. I just thought because I was having troubles too that, folks were saying it's good to get some mods, but I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really understand a whole heap of exactly what it is. And then once I started having some stuff go down, like I said, this one girl, I watched one of her videos, she had started coming to me because she seen me in somebody else's live. And she basically was saying, were trying to take over her channel by using the wrench. And then after I started investigating that, and I looked into it, and I see what they can do, and I just I left it at that, and I said, okay, so that's something to watch out for. But I'm Gucci, I ain't got nothing going on like that. And then all of a sudden, I got a few YouTubers that started reaching out to me saying, do you know that some of your videos are blocked and bop bop and bop, a whole lot of ricker, you know what I mean? And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because I don't have anybody that have no power to do that in my life, and I know I haven't done it. So what's good? You know what I mean? What's tea? What's going on here? And then after I start realizing that I had a whole bunch of folks that, quite a few that, we ain't chilling no more. And no shade. I'm just saying we ain't. And I feel like a lot of that must be coming from them, because those are the only folks that that I mean, sometimes though you can get tricked by somebody right up under your nose. It may be even a family member, but that wasn't the case here. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, you know what? Let me take these wrenches down and just see what's happening out here. Take them down and see, and go from there. And I know I might be talking their ears off. I don't know if you still hear Patty or who's here. Because I know that, like I said, people are busy, and like with me too, even when I watch your videos, and if I'm at home, I will put the live on and have it up and running and be cooking and cleaning and stuff. So, that happens to all of us, you know what I mean? That's how I do too, Patty. Just lay back and chill. Or like I said, I'll get around the house and be cooking. Because that's how it be. Because it's like that I'm all that, but it's like listening to a talk show, or listening to something that you don't have to look at it. Especially with me not being on camera. So you just chill back and relax and listen to the conversation, and feel like typing something in, because I've had lives too, Patty, that I'll go to, and sometimes I don't even say nothing either, because it depends on how I'm feeling, or if I can, you know what I mean? We all doing all kinds of stuff around here. All got a lot going on. This thing called life, so we basically all got to get it how we live, One foot in front of the other, get it going. I tell you, life is life, and we all got different reasons why we do different things. Like right now, I'm chilling. I'm doing a little bit of, as I talk to, I'm doing a little bit up. I feel like having a bowl of cereal. I'm gonna have a bowl of, what is it called? Raisin Bran Crunch. I'm gonna have a bowl of that, and enjoy this thing called life. Enjoy it. But But I know that I don't want people to feel uncomfortable because a lot of times when you do different stuff, people are so easy to get, misunderstood, So you try your best to make everybody that you deal with feel comfortable. Because I know people seem to feel like they're a star. And some people need that attention when they're on YT, but not to control anybody. You know what I mean? Or make nobody feel like they're underneath you just because you're at their live and that type of thing. Yeah, I don't ever want to give that impression because that's not who I am. I know how to be respectable and how to treat people fair. You know what I mean? Definitely know how to treat people fair because it ain't right. That's why too, when I go to a lot of people's lives, I be quiet. A lot of times, I just watch because I want to, enjoy the comments everybody else is making. I want to hear what the host is saying. That gives you time to relax because you're not the one that's hosting the live for a change, so you get to chill, and be there for support most of all, That, to me, that's all that stuff is spread the love. Hugging on one another, Not taking nothing for granted. Respecting people. Spreading joy and love. Helping each other out. Showing your life. Sharing your life. I think that's the beauty too of YT. Is that you can be anywhere in the world and get a chance to experience somebody else's climate, or what they're accustomed to, what community they come from, and enjoy it. Straighten it up here a little bit. I like to keep it clean. I don't like having a mess. Trying to keep it close together, Stop teaching. You learn something new every day. You don't know, you better ask somebody. This beat definitely goes on. Definitely goes on. So I'm telling you, there's so many facets out here, folks, places, and things that you don't know half the time whether you going or coming because there's so much happening around you. Do the best you can to try to get how you live. You get out here and get caught up and misunderstood and ran over and drawn through the mud. Definitely gotta watch out for that. I experienced so many different things here that, honey, you can't put nothing past nobody because you don't know what's happening. And sometimes you don't know what people are going through either, so you don't want to be quick to, say nothing. Judge nothing if you don't really know what's happening, That's why I try my best to treat people well. I don't want nobody coming around me feeling less than or treated any kind of way, because I know what that's like. And it can be very painful, and then you don't never know how you're going to impact somebody, I tell you one thing, it's like right now, not to be rude, I'm going to be 100% honest, and I ain't trying to be shady and none of that, but I got a few people right now that call themselves hot with me because I've been changing some of the schedule around when I do the lives. But see, I have to do it with what I can do, you know what I mean? And I got a lot of people that's been acting, a little funny and saying a little bit of something, And I don't think that that's fair because they have to understand. I got a whole family here and plenty to do, you know. So I can't always be on that same schedule the way I like to because this is not my job in that kind of way. So I have to get it how I live too. And I got one person that I thought was a more mature person than what they were in in a good YouTube sis, I would say. And they've been acting kind of funny, because I've changed the timing that I do my lives. And and made mention to it, and I thought that was very selfish and unfair to behave that way because I've had been changing the timing or I've been doing it a little bit, but I indicated that as well too. Not that I even have to, but I respect people enough to do that. You know what I mean? And they mentioned it to me a few times. Well, I used to be here, and and now you ain't, and like that kind of way. And I'm like, oh, this ain't serious. I know that this person ain't trying to come for me and act a fool like that. Now, come on now. I thought we was better than that. Come on now. Don't do that. You're making me a bowl of cereal. And I was just blown away by that. Like, why would you even tell that foolishness? You're actually really serious about what you're saying to me right now. Mm-hmm. A grown woman. Mm-mm-mm. Grown woman that I thought was better and a lot more mature than that to come at me like that because I'm doing it at a different time and they're not available at the time. So they're barely coming, which I don't care. If you gotta do all that, there's gonna be a problem. Anyway, because you gotta schedule things. You gotta do what works. Whatever, really for yourself, because you're the one that got to have the time to be able to do the lives. Oh yeah. See, because I don't know. Okay. Don't worry. That's right, Patty. Don't worry about folks. I was trying to be, connected and thought we had a friendship there. It's all, you know what I mean. But yeah, you can't worry about them, Patty. I know exactly what you mean. Let them go on and go. That's why with this YT thing, you got to take it or leave it, even in your real life too, though. I mean, sometimes it's not as easy if it's your family members and people you got to work with if you're working or not. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I definitely let it go. Let it go. But I had to I had to get them straightened out though, because they came on here being rather rude. let them know nicely. But it wasn't nothing, to get all turned up over. They was telling me what I gotta do. honey, bunny. Nothing better than that, folks. I tell you what, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. You gotta really, really be more for God than to worry about anybody. You spend your time here concentrating on and worrying about other people, it's gonna block your blessings and keep you held back, So I do my best to try to make sure I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't get caught up in that zone. But it really and truly is not worth it, and it's foolishness. A lot of these folks here, you can tell that certain stages and stuff of their life that they never grew up. You know what I mean? They never grew up. Because they doing some stuff that's very childish, and a lot of the stuff that they do, I never done that as a child or a young person with no foolishness. I don't understand it. I'd be like, well, what the heck happened here? Who is this? What? Come on now, we gotta do better than that now. Bringing in people. What's grown folks up in here? Some folks just never grew up, or they've been caught up in so much childish stuff that they don't know how to act, and they ain't never got purged from it. And there's a lot of stuff too that I see folks do that I didn't, I ain't never got down like that in my life. It's a lot of weird, crazy, messy stuff that people do that I know I never got caught up with. And I'm definitely not gonna start now. Definitely ain't gonna start now. So I'm looking at this YT, and so many people all got lives going at the same time. Wow. That's where half of everybody's at. They usually be over here, which is good though, because I'm making my way around visiting them. And you can't help it. If you're all doing something at the same time, go for it. Do your thing. I definitely don't just stay in my life. I go and support other people too. Excuse me, I'm eating some cereal. I don't want to be crunching and munching, but I can say, hey, I'm doing the mukbang. So get away with that mess. Everybody's hitting it. Everybody getting tipsy. Everybody. Remember that song? Way back when. It's just amazing how matter of fact, I got a YouTuber on here. Oh, somebody just gave me a wrench that I don't want. No, let me stop saying that. That's not nice. I'm just joking. Well, I don't have to have ones for real. I don't. And I keep saying that because I meant to tell you too. I just had a live. Miss Beautiful Cherry, which I've been knowing for a while. I was giving her a wrench, and she says she don't care about the wrench. She's the same as we are. I'm not into it either. And it's nothing wrong with it, because I noticed that a lot of people say certain stuff because they just say it because they're trying to prove something, or they know that's what everybody else is saying, and that's what they really want, though. You know what I mean? But it's nothing wrong with any of that. Everybody has the right to be and do what they want to do, the phone. Mm, My girl here has been ending her live very early. She usually go for hours and hours. Well, she's over with now live. Mm-mm. I guess she another one too, like me, trying to stick to a schedule and handle your business. This is all right. Good night, sweetie. You take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, sweetie. Thank you, Patty, and bless you. And I'm sorry about the crunching and munching. I wasn't gonna keep doing that. I just had to get me a few good tastes in here to see, because I haven't had this cereal in a while. And I want to see if it was like what I had from, years ago. That I don't know if you ever ate that Raisin Bran, but yeah. Thank you so much for coming, Miss Patty. I appreciate you as usual, and I'm sorry that it got quiet like this, but a lot of people, I guess, doing different things, and a lot of people have popped up some lives since I've been. A lot of people that was in my live, I see they're doing lives. She said good night, so it's night for you there, Patty. Okay. She's gonna go to bed. Okay, sweetie. Thank you so much, and I will see you sooner than later, darling. Thank you. I'm not closing down the live though. I'm gonna still be up because I got a few folks that hit me up in the DMs are gonna come back through. But thank you, Patty, and blessings to you, and get some rest. Bye for now.